Okay, this is the unit step function. So the Laplace transform of your function of t minus a times u of t minus times the unit step function of t minus a is equal to e to the negative a times s times your function of s. And this, of course, is reverse. So the way you'd express something in a unit step function would be, so let's say you have this here, right? So it'll be f of t times the unit, all times the unit step function of t minus a minus t minus b, because that's where it turns, or minus the unit step function of t minus b, because that's where it turns off, plus g of t times the unit step function of t minus c minus the unit step function of t minus d plus h of t all times the unit step function of t minus e minus u of t minus f. So, right, and that's how you'd write it in terms of unit step function. So let's say you have, sine of t at 0 to t to 2 pi, and then 0 and then t, everything after 2 pi is 0. So then it'll be sine of t times the unit step function of t minus 0 minus the unit step function of t minus 2 pi plus 0 times the unit step function of t minus 2 pi. And since it never turns off, that's it. That's how you express something in terms of unit step functions. So let's do an example with the second translation theorem. So let's say it's a Laplace transform of t times u of t minus 5, right? So you can do a little algebra trick where it's a Laplace transform of t plus 5 minus 5 times the unit step function of t minus 5. And you'd get t minus 5 times the unit step function of t minus 5 minus, or plus, the Laplace transform of 5 times the unit step function of t minus 5. So this down here will become e to the negative 5s times your function of s, which is Laplace transform t, which is just 1 over s squared plus 5 over s for this one. And it's going to be e to the negative 5s. And let's do an inverse Laplace transform. So the Laplace transform e to the negative 6s over s squared plus 4. We know that your a is equal to 6. So it's going to be the Laplace inverse transform so, 5 or the Laplace transform of s e to the negative 6s is gonna, over s squared plus 4, it's gonna equal f of t minus 6 times u of t minus 6. And of course your f of s is going to equal s over s squared plus 4. And this, the inverse Laplace transform of this is going to be cosine of 2t, so it's going to be cosine of 2t. But wait, your t is going to approach t minus 6. And this is all times the unit step function of t minus 6. So it's going to be cosine of 2t minus 12 times the unit step function of t minus 6. And that will be your answer. But let's do another one where it's the Laplace transform and you have to use a trig identity to solve it. But we'll do that in the next video.